See that? Something's going after it. Got one. Oh, did I miss him?
Because I cannot catch a break.
Got him. Oh, okay.
I'm back at Lake Castaic. Not quite open just yet, but it's about to be. And it's a little cloudy this morning, and there's tons of topwater action. And so that was the plan going in, is I am going to throw some topwater lures, frog, spooks, poppers, anything to get a topwater bite. I'll start there and then see where we're at. I got a few other ideas of some other tactics I'm gonna try today. But the plan is, as always, catch lots of fish and catch big fish. So I'll see you on the water.
Got one. Oh, did I miss him? Oh, I have one on the popper. First fish. Something big waked out here. Oh. See that? Something's going after it. Oh.
Well, the topwater is definitely going off. I got on the water so late because there was a huge line. It was taking them forever. But what I notice is if I see something hitting and I throw the popper on, I've gotten hits both times. I guess they just weren't small fish, or they were small fish, or whatever, but it's pretty effective, and there's a lot more topwater activity early in the morning. It's starting to slow down now, which kind of sucks, but if you can see them and cast to them, is a good chance you'll get a strike.
Super bass. Not a bad one. As far as today goes. Not a bad one. It's right under that ledge. No, it's not the big one. There's a huge one back here. Not bad.
There's a lot of topwater stuff, lots of schools of, 1 and 2 pounders, nothing major. They're hitting a lot of the little fish on topwater. So I'm using a tube and just sort of watching them, school on it and gang up on it and stuff. And it's pretty cool catching a few of those, and a couple on seikos. But the topwater's few and far between now, and I've seen some nice sized fish, but they're not going after anything. So just gonna try some new spots and see if I can't catch a decent sized fish today.
small, man.
This bass floating in front of me was about a 3-pound bass, really chunky, beautiful fish. I found it when I got there, so someone probably hooked it first thing. And it had a hook, a big old bass hook in its gullet. So, you know, it could have died in a variety of ways, but if you guys don't know how to unhook a gullet hooked fish, as long as it's not too deeper in the gills, there's an easy way to do it. You watch this video by Tactical Bass, and they have the best video on how to do that. He walks you through it. It's very easy. You can save a lot of fish. So please check it out.
So, as you can see, there's tons of bass in this little area eating, and there's tons of shad. So they're small. I just want to try to get one on Topwater. Got him. Oh, nice. Came up for the popper. I guess he's decent size. Awesome. Yeah, it's not bad. Look at all those bass down there. Holy crap. Can you see all those bass? That's alright. He got loose right at the last minute. Did want a picture of him. Definitely my biggest of the day, but that was really cool. Got one on top. I think it's a small one. Quick release. Wow, look at all those bass right there. That's the school. Alright, so I'm back in this cove and there's tons of shad. I kind of motored in. Damn it, hang on. Alright, so as I was saying, I'm in this cove. There's tons of shad. I came through here and I saw just, you know, thousands of shad kind of below the surface. And there's tons of bass blowing up on them. There's a couple schools, a larger school and a smaller school. And it's been constant for about an hour. It seems like the only way I can catch them is if I throw my popper right on top of them as they're hitting. And I had that nice one and then a smaller one, but it's pretty cool and fun to, you know, catch them on the top like this, because you can't, I don't know how much you can see, but I can see them as they come up. You know, I can see the little school come up here, you know, going after the little shad. So it's about the only thing I can catch them on, this little popper, but it is really cool. See what they're chasing. This tiny little school, and you see those two chasing them, the little baby bass. There's this whole school down there. Man, I just had a hit on this thing. Little lipless. Bad one? Sorry. Probably the heaviest one of the day. Boy's eating. Come on, little guys. Killing me here. Killing me. Come on, little chaps. Oh, there we go. There we go. Gorgeous fish. Oh, he had another Senko in him. Not learned your lesson on the Senkos, pal. Well, just when I was getting bored of catching all these little fish, I found some shad. A lot of them. And I was able to scoop a few. So I'm trying to remember all the places where I saw giant bass today. I guess I'll just stay right where I caught the shad. I'm sure there's some big fish hanging around, so I'm gonna catch one in a second. Lots of hungry bass right here. There's one. Beautiful. Sorry, pal. Quick pick. Bigger. Wow. All right, pal, come on. Oh, man. Tell you what, these summer bass are really powerful. Probably about 3 pounds, maybe a little more, I doubt it. See that? All right, I'm just finishing up. I'm up off the lake a little bit early because that boat was just a pain in the butt. The engine was not working right and it was flooding and all this other stuff. So I usually close the lake down, but it's 5:30, so that's fine. It started out kind of slow, lots of dinks, lots of small fish, mostly on Senkos, but when I was in my car waiting to get in, it was very smooth and I could see lots of topwater all over the lake, literally topwater. And you know, usually it's small bass, but you know, I figured that would be a fun thing to try today, which I kind of had it in my mind because last time topwater was okay. So I started throwing topwater. As you see, I caught a couple of, I had a few bites in the morning, and then finally I caught a couple, found that cove where it was just going off, like they were just schooling and hitting everything on top. Decent sized fish. There's like a school of lots of small fish, and then there was another school about 10 you know, 2, 3, 4 pounders. And I caught the one on the popper, which was really cool. It's probably like a, you know, 2.5, 3 pound fish, nothing major, but it was really cool. Then I caught a little dink on a topwater. And then I started to get bored again because, you know, the wind kind of came in that cove and the top water died. So I was trying to find a different bite. I didn't want to just Senko it all day. I caught quite a few fish on the Senko. But it's just not great fishing on the Senko right now, except for, you know, tiny fish. So I went to this cove and I found a ton of shad and I was able to net some. It was really tough, let me tell you. It was just crazy trying to net those fish. But I managed to get a few, and in that same cove I saw quite a few bass. So I used this live shad and caught 2 right away. You know, as you see, very nice fish, probably 2.5, maybe 3 pounds, maybe. But they fought well and they were feisty. You know, that warm water, those bass are really active and feisty, so they were a fun catch. And then I took the shad to another cove and just, it was too much wind going on there, just wasn't happening. So that was about it. And I decided to call it. I pretty much did everything I needed to do today. Lots of top water. I caught fish on all kinds of things, mostly the Senko. I caught, I had a bite on the little lipless crankbait, tiny little shad looking thing, like a rattle trap. Didn't hook it, but he went after it and tried to get it. And then one on the popper, the small popper, and then I think a bunch of bites on the big popper, but I think the 2 I hooked were on the small popper. Yeah, so a little bit of everything. The only thing that doesn't work at this lake seems to be a jig. I threw a little crawl thing on the jig and nothing, ever. Never get a bite off that. Alright, that's it. It's a long outro, but I did a lot of different things, so I just wanted to make sure you got it all clear. Alright, until then, I will see you tomorrow.